With now 189 days away to the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, with each and every month that passes, we are only getting closer to the release of this movie that will bring the Skywalker saga to a close as they go toward the future into a new Star Wars saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, what's really intriguing about this film is that we do know that this movie really is going to take advantage of a lot of elements of the past, such as the prequels and the originals, as well as making it a revelation movie, which means we're going to have a lot of twists and turns and surprises and all these different reveals that are going to hold saga-wide implications. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, and one of the big plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew. This is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the big plot elements that were inserted into the film by JJ include numerous pre-Easter eggs to the new Star Wars trilogy by the creators of Game of Thrones. It said that during the rewrites of the film in November and December of 2018, that many Easter eggs of the Old Republic were also thrown into the storyline that would set up Disney making that era of the franchise canon within The Rise of Skywalker. Additionally, it's described that part of the story will involve a conflict between Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren within the third act of the film, where both of their beliefs begin to differ from each other. The Knights of Ren are also described to be a part of the origins of the First Order, and will explain who they were before they called themselves the Knights. Also, it said that some of Luke's flashbacks in the film will be set roughly 10 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. It said that this is where the de-aging technology will be applied to make Luke appear as if he is in his early 30s. This version of Luke is set to appear just as he did in Return of the Jedi, with a bit of a tougher look to him and wearing the Jedi Master robes. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. The first one that really does stand out to me the most, that really makes me very excited, is seeing a 33-year-old Luke Skywalker. Now, this whole entire sequence, or various sequences in the film, are said to be based 10 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. And if you guys actually didn't know this, Luke Skywalker's age in Return of the Jedi is, of course, the age of 23. Now, Luke being 23 in Return of the Jedi, jumping 10 years ahead, would place Luke in his early 30s. So, this is going to be a very interesting way to look at Luke Skywalker as a Jedi Master in his younger years and some of the other flashbacks. Now, this is where the de-aging technology comes into play for Mark Hamill, where they're literally going to turn him into a young version of Luke. Now, this is something that I think is really going to be a highlight of the movie, because a lot of fans have always wanted to know exactly what was going on with Luke Skywalker in between the events of the originals and the sequels, more closer to the original trilogy per se. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting way to look at Luke Skywalker, to see how he built himself up to be a Jedi Master. We also know that one of the other sequences involves a training session between himself and Leia that's going to be used through de-aging technology as well. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren. Now, their relationship, whatever you want to call it, their whole entire, teaming up situation in the second and first act of the movie is going to go into a downfall, or is going to go into a conflict within the third act, where both of their beliefs begin to change. So the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren are going to have this conflict between each other's, and that's where I believe we are going to see a sequence in which we have the Knights of Ren going up against Kylo Ren and Rey. Now, the thing about that is that the Knights of Ren, in case you guys did not know, this was confirmed by Vanity Fair not too long ago, is that the Knights are the ones who introduced Kylo Ren to the dark side of the Force before Supreme Leader Snoke. Keep that in mind, it's a very interesting piece for sure, and Vanity Fair confirmed that. Now, on top of all of this, I think that this is something that should really interest a lot of people, is that during the rewrites of 2018, during the months of November and December for this movie, is exactly when JJ Abrams added in a lot of Easter eggs, pre-Easter eggs if you will, for the upcoming new Star Wars movies by the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, as well as Easter eggs to Star Wars The Old Republic, which is basically going to be a way of Disney and Lucasfilm making that era of the Star Wars franchise canon within The Rise of Skywalker. So all these plot elements and these plot details are very interesting because not only does it have to do with Luke and Kylo Ren, but it also has to do with the past and maybe even the future of the Star Wars franchise as a whole. And I think that this is a smart way to do things by Disney and Lucasfilm by hinting at what's to come for the future of the Star Wars franchise in a big Star Wars movie that's going to bring the Skywalker saga to a close. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.